What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another show, another week, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Phil Spencer teases Black Myth Wukong Xbox release, but says he can't talk about it. We're going to talk about IGN has an article saying the Blockbuster Games bubble has burst. We'll talk about that. Then we're also going to talk about the Game Awards. States that DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories, which was already a thing, except for Game of the Year. As far as DLCs, remasters, and remakes were there, but we'll talk about that. And then at noon, they're going to talk about the nominations for 2024's the Game Awards. So we'll have a little conversation about that. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till about noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Eclipse, Jason, Ron, Dolphin, Z? Am I missing? Who am I missing? Wonder Rose, good morning. All turn. Robert Jones, good morning. How's everyone doing? So, this weekend, I've been playing a shit ton. Wait, are we past 30 seconds? Probably not. Oh, yeah. We're like 15 minutes in because I heard the music. I played a crap ton of the Brighter Shores. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to Brighter Shores at this specific moment. What's going on, Krebsy? Right? I've leveled up all my abilities or all my classes to 20 plus in the first story. In the second part of the story, I got everything but one up to level 20, and we're working on that. I've been catching up on a lot of videos and whatnot, and just playing that game in the background. I'm enjoying it. Enjoying it. Go on, Dark Taco. All right, let's get to nominations. Go till Friday, but nominees are being announced today. Makes sense. Well, they get the games early, Krebsy. That's why. The cutoffs are the 22nd. The games that are coming out this week, like Stalker 2, Microsoft Flight Sim, they've already been playing those for weeks for review processes or whatever else. Right? So that's what they're doing. Roscape 25, thank you very much for the continued membership. Appreciate that very much. 22 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Yeah, so that's why. The cutoff's the 22nd, but they already played the games. They already know. So any game that's coming out this week is already there. All right. I want to start off with the first topic. We'll get to the nomination stuff when we get there. Okay. I want to start off with this one. This came out on November 14th, this article, which I'm assuming is a continuation, but not really a continuation, because the one we talked about was the article from Paul Tassi about a month and a half ago when Black Myth Wukong came out. And on GXG, we talked about how one said it was, the what was it? What not the processing, but the making the game for Xbox, right? And they said there was a problem with it. But then Xbox came out and said it wasn't a problem with it, and then Paul Tassi came out and said that that Game Science said this, but he said this because he had a source that told him this. And then people were going back and forth. Who's telling the truth? Was it Paul Tassi or was it Game Science? And then it was speculation of, did Sony pay for something and why didn't they get the marketing rights and whatnot? And then other people were saying, no, it's because of the Xbox Series S. And Paul Tassi said that it wasn't because of optimization. It was because of money was given to, and then people were going back and forth. So I said that why would Paul Tassi lie about and put his reputation out there as far as him just lying about something? But we'll see what happens. I also said that, the truth will come out down the road. So here we are now. On November 14th, Phil Spencer teases Black Myth Wukong Xbox release, but says he can't talk about it. Okay, let me make this nice and big so everyone can see. The release of Black Myth Wukong on Xbox remains shrouded in mystery, with the new information provided by Microsoft. The highly anticipated game developed by Game Science has yet to arrive on Xbox consoles, despite being announced as a multi-platform title. The latest development came during the interview with Microsoft's game boss Phil Spencer, where he asked directly about the game's arrival on Xbox. The question came up in an interview with GameFly, or Game File, paywalled, journalist Stephen Totillo asked Spencer, do you know if you're getting Black Myth Wukong on Xbox at some point? Spencer replied, I do know. However, when Totillo followed up, are you getting it? Spencer only responded with, I can't announce that, while laughing. Okay. And obviously, he's not allowed to say because someone else has something, right? And it's not his responsibility. It's not his place to say something. You know what I mean? Like, two people have a secret. You know the secret. Someone asks you what's the secret. You're like, it's not my place to say, type of thing, right? So Spencer's vague response might seem playful, only adds to a growing speculation about why the game hasn't been released on Xbox yet. Black Myth Wukong was originally announced as a multi-platform game, but so far it's only been released on PC and PlayStation 5. Just to be clear, that is still multi-platform. I don't know why people read that and be like, they said it was going to be multi-plat at launch, and then they're like, it was announced that it was multi-plat, but it's only been released on PC and PlayStation 5. Yes, that's multi-plat. I don't know how to describe it more than what it says. PC is a platform. PlayStation's a platform. It's on both of them. It's multi-platform. Okay. Previously, it was reported as the delay of Xbox version was due to games suffering from memory leak, which caused significant crashes. However, rumors have persisted about the possible temporary exclusive deal with Sony. And this is where the Paul Tassi article comes in when he says he had a source. Okay. And Microsoft constantly stated that cannot commit to the deals made by other partners with other platform holders. And this is why I'm saying that it's not their place to say if and when it's coming, because if they say something, they have rights they paid for, right? Not saying they are, but if Phil Spencer can't tell you when it's coming, is because someone else has the rights to the marketing. Do you see what I'm saying? So this statement has only fueled speculation that Spencer's latest comment seems to further support these rumors, which are the rumors that Paul Tassi reported on that people were very upset about. Okay. It's also possible that Spencer simply doesn't want to make the official announcement before it's ready. True. That could be 100% as well. Okay. Especially with the major events like the Game Awards approaching, where they might also be planning to announce the Black Myth Wukong on Xbox. Okay. However, the curious, it didn't seem confirmed the game's eventual release on platform, which raises questions about the potential communication issues of the timing and the announcements. Meanwhile, it's also worth noting that Black Myth Wukong was recently rated for Xbox Series X and S by the ESRB, which suggests the official announcement could be coming, which obviously is probably from the Game Awards. And maybe at that Game Awards, they'll announce it and then say, you can play it now, right? Like after the awards. In other Black Myth Wukong news, the game had development budgets of $70 million, as reportedly generated nearly $1 billion in revenue. So there's an update for you, right? He still can't really announce. It's not really an update, I guess. They're just saying the exact same thing that happened a month and a half ago, and we still don't know the actual truth. So we'll have to wait for the Game Awards to see if they actually announce something for Black Myth Wukong. I'm going to go out on the limb and say during the Game Awards, they do drop it or shadow drop it, right? They'll announce Black Myth Wukong. They'll say, hey, it's an announcement, and then they'll say it's on Xbox now, like they've done with other things in the past, where they just drop it. You know, at the same time, this doesn't give any validity to what Paul Tassi said a month and a half ago, and it also doesn't reassure that it's because of optimization or whatnot on their side. It's Phil Spencer still saying nothing. It's still them saying that, well, they can't say anything. They don't want to say anything. So I still have to go with what I said about a month and a half ago. Why would Paul Tassi write an article, okay, to say that this is happening and he has a source and put his credentials or put his reputation on the line as a lie? And I said, if it is, then it comes out and says, well, then he's a liar, and then it hurts his reputation. But if it comes off as, well, Game Science lied, well, then that hurts their reputation, right? So somebody down the line is going to get their reputation just a little bit dinged up if it's Game Science, the brand new company that made a Wukong that's being beloved by made $1 billion and 20 million people have played it, or Paul Tassi, who writes articles day after day after day after day. You know, and his credibility is based on what he states on his articles. And I'm in the middle. I said it could be possible that Sony did pay for some marketing rights. Well, not marketing rights, but paid them money to help them out in some way, shape, or form to get it on their platform first. Okay? Because they actually said that Xbox might do that to them. during the FTC trial, and I said, well, why would they suggest that Xbox would do something like that? Because they've done that in the past themselves. So I wouldn't put it past Sony if they did it. I'm not saying they did, but just like I said a month and a half ago, I can see that if it comes out later going, oh, well, that makes sense. They've done it before, so why wouldn't they do it again? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I just think it's funny that they don't want to say, and I don't think they can say, because if someone signs a deal, right, which Game Science can't say what it is, okay, and Xbox can't say what it is because it's not their place to say what the other business is doing, because they know about contracts, but they're not allowed to say it, right? Because that would look bad on them. If Sony, let's say, did sign something with Game Science, and Xbox is like, yeah, well, they signed something with them, so that's why we can't do it. That's just throwing someone else underneath the bus, and you don't want to do that as a business person. So what they do is they just like, nah, I can't comment. I can't comment on it. Can't tell you when it's coming out. East Vandal says, I think it's pretty obvious that PlayStation is that money hated Wukong scummy business practice. Possible, Vandal. It's possible. We don't know for 100% of truth, but 100% could be possible. Because they've done it in the past. Let's be honest. Both companies in the past have done this. Xbox has done this with games. PlayStation has done this with games as well. Right? So it's not something that be like, what? They did this? Kind of like shock. Roadkill says, you guys are listening to everybody except the company that came out and said they do not have a deal with people who made Wukong. Said that. Roadkill, we've reported that. We reported that. No one's not listening to them. I think you're not listening to what I'm saying. Just like other people that were in this chat said that I'm a hater on Sony, when all I'm doing is just talking about it, and both companies have done this in the past. Game Science came out and said it was an optimization thing. Xbox came out and said it's not an optimization thing. So which one's lying? Somebody's lying. Is it Game Science or is it Xbox? Now, be careful who you pick, because you might show your true colors, right? So someone's lying, and then there's Paul Tassi who came out and said that Game Science took money, right? And this is why people got upset. So then I'm like, well, as a consumer, who am I supposed to believe? Am I supposed to believe Game Science? Am I supposed to believe Xbox? Or am I supposed to believe the reporter that's reporting this stuff? I can't believe anybody, because right now they're all against each other, because at the end of the day, someone's going to be right and someone's going to be wrong, and whoever's right is going to discredit the other two that lied, right? One's right, two are wrong. Which one's going to be the correct one at the end of the day? Travis says, but you can't trust companies. Oh, wait, you guy who said this is exclusive is part of a company. Altern says it's an update of them saying that they can't say anything. You know, the only thing that they changed was the date, because the words are still the same. Well, this is a completely different article. Jesse Mack says the Game Award nominations not accepted. It would mean that they not a woke platform than other games. If Game Award nominations is not accepted, it would mean that they not a woke platform than other games. I don't know what that's in reply to, Jesse Mack. I trust Game Science more than Tassi. I get that, right? Brand new company making a game. You like the game. You don't like Tassi. So there's bias there, right, Akuta Papa? I know a lot of people don't like Tassi for many different reasons, right? But again, why would Tassi say he has a source and then put, like, he could have not reported on it, right? He could have not reported on it. Nothing would have happened, okay? But he put himself out there. No one else did, right? So he could be lying, but Game Science could be lying 100% as well. Ramsey said, PlayStation paid for exclusivity, but isn't talking about it makes sense. The game isn't optimized well for PlayStation 5. The game needs 16 gigs of memory, and the Series S has 10. Yeah, but you're going back to the S. Now, if you believe game science, and you believe, well, no, it's for optimization, but then Xbox says it's not for optimization. So which one's lying? Right? You have no proof of either one. So none of us can say with 100%, without a doubt, well, this one's lying, this one's not. Altered says, someone's lying. Xbox, Wutong dev, or mid-tier journalists. I think the answer is clear. Your Honor, right here. I believe Game Science and Paul Tassi, Xbox just covering their asses. Yeah, but Paul Tassi is saying that Xbox, it wasn't because of optimization. Paul Tassi is saying that Xbox is correct and Game Science is wrong. He's saying that Game Science and PlayStation made a deal. That's what he reported on a month and a half ago. Jack says, I've heard many others have different takes on why this happened. Nobody knows the other than Xbox. Right, and that's why I said there's no right or wrong answer right now, Jax, but the answer will come out sometime. What's going on, Hilly? Robert Jones says, all news is fake until the truth comes out. Right. It's not that Tassie's consistently has said, I have a source. It's himself or BS. See, I disagree there, Akuta Papa. People can't tell who their sources are because if they tell the sources, then they won't have a source anymore. You see what I'm saying? That is the number one rule of journalism, that they get sources. Now, it's your choice to believe one or the other on any news. Okay? They're like, I have a source, right? Now, if it comes out there is no source and it's fake, right? What's going to happen? What's going to happen if Tassie's right? Are you guys going to apologize? Are you guys going to come back and say, oh, well, that's a disappointment? No. Most of you will just stay quiet and be like, oh, well, I don't want to show my face there, right? I'm saying that why would one person put their credentials up where the other people is a conglomerate company? It's like a speed bump. They're really not going to hurt them, right? People will forget about it in 2 seconds. One, his livelihood relies on it. You see what I'm saying? Regardless of what you think of him personally, why would a journalist take Tassie's name out of it? Just any journalist. Why would they put their name up to be a liar if they didn't have a source? To get hits and clicks? Sure. But then that also diminishes his thing. Roadkill says, and plus he knew it was a hot topic because between Xbox and PlayStation, so he ran with it, and it looked at still got people talking. One, that wasn't Paul Tassie's article that we just read, Roadkill, right? Two, okay, there is so much. I have no horse in the race, right? I'm just reading an article and giving you my thoughts and opinions. Two, Paul Tassie's articles have always been his opinion pieces on stuff, right? It says it on his actual articles that people read. Xbox is definitely lying because other devs have come out and Baldur's Gate 3 optimization on the S. That was always working on the S. That came out because of the split screen, and we know that. Right? That came out as it was the split screen, and the split screen was having problems on the S. No one was hiding that. Nobody was hiding that. Jesse Mack says, if Game Awards nominations for Black Myth Wukong is not accepted, in as a nominee for the Game Awards, just like Hogwarts Legacy or Ghost of Tsushima did, if Black Myth Wukong for Game of the Year is rigged. I mean, I guess we'll see at noon when they say it. Rebel says Tassie's traffics is bullshit and fake news. So all of his stuff is always fake news. All of his stuff. I can't go back to any of his articles talking about Destiny or anything like that. Everything is fake news. Rebel, that's what you're saying? Akuta Papa says, oh, I agree. I'm just saying that Tassie's consistently says he has a source, but does have a source, so I don't trust him. Any article, any person that says they have a source says the exact same thing as him. So you're literally being biased against Tassie because of other reasons, Akuta Papa, not because, right? If you don't like him, that's fine. But all sources don't give their all journalists don't give their sources, because if they gave their sources, then they wouldn't have sources anymore. When they're wrong and they never come back and say so, they just say, well, I was told. Claiming sources keep having you take accountability. Absolutely, heck. Right? I'm just personally reading and giving you both sides what it could be, right? These people said one thing, these people said the other. I give you my opinion based on, well, this could be possible, and this also could be possible, and we all have to wait to see what comes out. Because it will come out. It will come out. It's funny, right? Because I also don't like Paul Tassi, but I can put my differences aside to realize why would he put it out there. Most of you guys don't like him, and I know why. But you're biased, and you're not actually thinking clearly. Just saying, you're not thinking clearly. You're hating on the person and not listening to the actual conversation in the article. In articles, right? But how do you know that, Akuta Papa? How do you know he doesn't have a source? How can you say that with 100% certainty? Right? Because each of his pieces, there's times he's reporting on news, and there's other times he's reporting as his opinion based on something. Right? He doesn't need a source to tell you that, like, Agatha Explains It All is whatever. That's his bias because he's talking about something in his opinion. But when he's talking about news and says he has a source, that's a news thing, not an opinion thing. If as a journalist, if you receive information that is not credible, and then you use the statement, that was the information I was told, with confirming the statement, then you are not a journalist. Correct, right? Eclipse says, the sources, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. I wasn't given information that the Hate Dawn of War 3, that's not me saying I have a source. That's just me saying it. Sure. And there's people that have things, and it's an actual, like, a report that they're doing, and they have sources and they've talked to. I've reached out to this person. I've said this thing, right? This source of person. Then there's, I played this game. This is my opinion, right? Two different things. Starting to feel like a rabbit hole? Not yet. It's not a rabbit hole yet, Z. Right? So that's story number one. I got a hard out at like 1:05. I got a doctor's appointment today. So, story number two that we got going on today. We got the Blockbuster Games bubble has burst. Okay. This is an article from IGN.com. Okay? So, Blockbuster Game Bubbles has burst. If you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just talk about news stories, have conversations, and have discussions. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Kuda Papa says 30 correct. He might have a source, but it's not a good source, like ever. Industry-wise, when he uses a source, has been overwhelmingly wrong. Yes, he could be right, but history says BS. But you can't... If you can look at it and say, yes, okay, he's been wrong or right, but you have to take every news story as a brand new thing. You see what I'm saying? You can't say, well, because he reported on this and it was wrong, that this one is wrong because of that one. That doesn't make any sense. Now, you personally can be like, I don't trust him because of these said things, but you can't say with 100% that he's wrong because he was wrong one other time before or a couple times before. And I don't know if he was right or wrong a couple times before. Apparently, you're following him way more than I do as far as what's right or wrong and fact check him. So I would love to see the information, that articles that he written that were not opinion pieces, what was right and what was wrong of the times that he said he had a source, right? And I'm not protecting Paul Tassi in any way, shape, or form. I'm trying to point out that there's people that have a bias on certain things, okay? And you have to take each story different than the whole thing, right? Because he's been right more times than I would say wrong with stuff that he's reported. But because people don't like the certain person or because he was wrong on certain things, he's wrong all the time. Hilly says, I think before publishing, you do corroboration of source information, at least 3. You need to quote the exact statement of the source and not every reveal of the source, but explain their standing. Cubby says, this was over a year ago, but I remember Xbox saying like, we don't know why Baldur's Gate 3 skipped Xbox. Baldur's Gate 3, then next day, Larian said something like, we skipped Xbox because it split screen Series S. Correct, Grubsy. And this is what I said before. I said, companies lie because of reasons, okay? So who do you believe? This is almost the exact same thing. Do we believe Larian Studios or do we believe Xbox? Well, the source and the actual thing will come out, right? But to say you can pick sides, nobody's right or wrong right now until the actual truth comes out. Right? It's like picking sports teams. This team's going to win. No, this team's going to win. Well, half of you are going to be wrong and half of you are going to be right. And then when you pick it, you'll be like, see, I told you. You were right. Flip a coin, 50-50 chance. Let's go on, Argus. All right. The Blockbuster Games bubble has bursted. Now, the video game industry is currently in the thralls of paradox for players who could also argue we're in one of the greatest times for gaming and their incredible breadth of choice across console. Handhelds and PCs made ever more accessible through gaming subscription services like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. But from the industry's perspective, things could not be more dire. More and more studios seem to be more closing original IPs or being scrapped mid-development, and the vast of legions of game developers, programs, artists, animators have been cut to loose. Also, put it simply, that the AAA video game bubble has finally bursted. I mean, if you're nominating DLCs and remakes and remasters, they might be right. Okay. Across the past 2 years, over 23,000 jobs in video game industry were lost, with a staggering 6,000 in January of 2024 alone. Over 30 video game development studios have ceased operations, including Arcane Austin, Violation, also most recently Firewalk Studios. What's worse is the trending shows signs of continuing rather than diminishing. How did we get here? Well, I could tell you before we even let me placeholder here. How did we get here? We got here because we were in a lockdown and everyone was stuck in their houses and everybody was making video games and was making money like this because everyone was stuck inside and they were just playing video games. And then surprisingly, they went, I don't understand. Game sales are dropping. What's going on here? Okay? Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. Some analysts have concluded that these closures and redundancies are necessary to redeem of the companies having over-textized themselves response to inflated demand of marketing during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, while it's understandably a factor, I believe the truth lies in other long-adjusting issues with AAA projects bubble. Well, sure, the rising cost of video games. If I'm charging $60 for a video game and it cost me $50 million to make, and I sell 10 million of those things, that's really good. But if I'm charging $70 and it cost me $300 million, okay, to make the game, and I only make 3 million sales, well, let's do the math. Greater than, less than, which one is better? Okay, so just 5 years ago, AAA projects' average budget ranged between 50 and 150 million. Today, a minimum average is 200 million. Call of Duty, new benchmarks is 300 million. The Activision is also a competition of marketing authority report. The AAA development that is now takes the efforts of 1.5 studios just to complete the annual Call of Duty title. I would love to know with this part right here where it says just 5 years ago, right? So we know that 5 years ago, everything was fine, okay? And it was 50 to 150 million dollars. But then when the brakes were put on for COVID-19, okay, then everyone was working at home. And people were working at home, yet they still had this big overhead called a building where they had to pay the mortgage and they had to pay the rent and they had to pay whatever on that, right? And property taxes and a bunch of other stuff, and yet they weren't using it. And yet they were still paying these people from working at home. That's also a factor in it. It's also slowing down the factor because they had to upload the files. It wasn't a localized thing, so people were using the cloud, so it was slower to get downloaded to their hard drives or their house so they could work within the actual confines of their house. Okay? All right, so it's far from just Call of Duty facing ballooning costs. It's the same as CMA reports. The anonymous publisher admits that development costs for one of its franchises reached $660 million. Which one was that? With $550 million marketing cost on top of that is a $1.2 billion game. Now, I want you to guys look at that real hard, long and hard, because you guys think I make this shit up when I talk about movie industry, okay? About if a movie costs $300 million to make, and I said the marketing is about that, if not more, okay? This would cost $600 million. A franchise reached $660 million with $550 million of marketing costs on top of that. So the game cost $1.2 billion, okay? To put that in perspective, it says, Minecraft, the world's best-selling video game of all time, has last year only achieved $3 billion. It took 12 years to reach that figure, having launched in 2011. Well, to be honest, didn't they pay, what's this guy's name? Marcus? Or Notch? Whatever his name was. Marcus Notch. $2.4 billion, right? And now 12 years later, they finally made it $3 billion. Interesting. The realities of this budget means entire publishing houses are massively overstretched and are now just desperately facing the consequences. If the developers of huge projects don't make money immediately, they must die. Sega sci-fi shooter Super Game Hyenas was in development and creative assembly for 7 years, and just as it was about to be publicly playable for the first time, the alpha testing, it was canceled. The reason? Sega preemptively concluded that Hyenas wouldn't make its money back. That's when people need to get fired. If it takes you 7 years to make a game, and you are about to release it and go, yeah, no, it's not going to make money. I'm sorry, what? Who at what position said, yeah, keep going with this game. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Let's do it. And then release it. Who at the position at Concord, okay, said, at Sony said, yeah, let's do this. Let's put it out there. It's good. And then say it's not going to make money. Okay? These people that make these choices, you guys are worried about journalists making problems being wrong. Meanwhile, there's people running studios, running publishing companies that say, yeah, go ahead and make this game, and then cancel it before it comes out, wasting 7 years of development time and money. Okay? But they're okay. Okay? Blizzard's survival projects Odyssey has a similar trajectory. Odyssey wouldn't have been the studio's first new IP in 8 years, and given the market's love for games like Minecraft and Rust, such as gaming's Titan, should undoubtedly made waves with the project. With Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, the project was swiftly killed and with a little reason publicly given beyond inconvenience, of switching engines and increased player count and servers. These examples of current AAA publishing could reflect a deep-rooted fear to engage with anything new or original. And this is why, well, we'll talk about it in just a little bit. This is why the Game Awards, Keeley Fest over here, decided that let's not make a new category about remakes, remasters, and DLCs. They said, no. Let's take those remakes, remasters, and DLCs and throw them in to the automatic other games that are running into Game of the Year, Best Art, Best whatever, right? Let's take those games and merge them into that, So it says, but even with the well-known IP that would also be worth millions in sales and revenue is being left to rot, despite owning Infamous, Jak and Daxter, Killzone, Resistance, Sly Cooper, to name a few of the entries of the PlayStation's sprawling dormant libraries. Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki, still the best name, claimed that the company lacks enough original IPs to consolidate itself as a true gaming powerhouse. I feel like this is a Kathleen Kennedy statement, right? Where we don't have enough original IPs. Like Kathleen Kennedy's like, we have nothing to pull from. I don't know about these Star Wars stories. We got nothing to pull from. Meanwhile, there's like 1,000 books they can pull from the extended universe. But hey, whatever. So what Totoki may mean is that the Sony's older catalog of library IPs does not fit the mold of what every publisher has been mindlessly chasing for a better part of a decade, which we talked about a month ago when we talked about that. The next big live service, Money Printer. It's difficult to imagine much fanfare for Sly Cooper reboot, where Bentley and Murray are also purchased to play. Grand heists are season pass bonuses, and worlds are delivered half-baked instead of fully formed. It's undoubtable some of the levels of the video game market has changed forever because of the live service model. Now, new video games don't just have to compete with the new rivals of somewhat find space in increasingly crowded market dominance, which we've talked about also on the past, right? I think we just talked about it last week with indie games and whatnot. By a decade-old titles like Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto Online games, which also continue to hold higher player counts than many of the top-sold games of the last few years, but live service titles require investment and not only money, but also time to find the audience, neither of which can afford with Firewalk Studios' Concord. The recent fate of Concord's Firewalk Studios serves as a micronism for the increasingly bleak outlook for the next few years in video game development. Concord and Firewalk's first games, it's baby in many ways in an 8-year development bolstered by Sony's acquisition, which also reported a cash injection of $200 million plus. Now, PlayStation reportedly believed that it had the next Star Wars-esque franchise on its hands, which is just funny. Again, we've talked about this in the past. You can't tell us what the next IP franchises of Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, They put the cart before the horse with this particular franchise, and they failed miserably. Put the gaming section. Maybe that the secret level thing comes out and we see the show for Concord. We're like, wow, that looks really good. Maybe they could go on and make a different show and then come back to this later. Who knows? PlayStation reportedly believed that it had the next Star Wars-esque franchise on its hands, but the game struggled significantly across both in beta testing period and launch. Some also soon completely shut down by Sony, with Firewalk Studio business, and shortly after, Concord's downfall happened faster than any other failed game in live service era, which is pretty crazy because Marvel's Avengers, Anthem, we got Suicide Squad. Like, we have some pretty bad live service games out there, and yet Concord failed miserably. Again, no one's accountable. Nobody's accountable. Everyone's fine. Studio gets closed down. But the person that said, yeah, let's go forward with this, where was the play testing internally? Who did they hire to say, yeah, this game's good, let's go ahead and move to the next step? What happened? Just a decade earlier, though, a similar disaster was plagued Blizzard's Diablo 3. A crippling error 37 message made the game unplayable, and fans worldwide decried the absolute failure to launch. Soon after, the game's real money auction house left players with a foul taste in their mouth, and Diablo 3's reputation was roasting in the fires. But rather than abandoning it, Blizzard not only repaired the game and removed to the auction house, but fundamentally upgraded and evolved Diablo 3 to 2.0, the Reaper of Souls expansion, finally cementing it to come back as a brilliant game. Its similar story has also been with CD Projekt Red's hard-fought battle to win Cyberpunk 27 fans back. No Man's Sky. There's so many. Fallout 76. Okay. If a line to $200 million plus budget has been lowered, the project direction refocused as Spark for the new universe rather than the Big Bang. It doesn't seem hard to believe that Concord may have found its audience with some Blizzard or CD Projekt Red like from Sony. Many projects akin to Concord could also be medium-sized successes they deserve to be. But if not for the financial corners, these publishers have found themselves backed into it. So continue here. It says, not that such financial corners and anything published should always attempt to navigate. Gamers are being waned interest of the monolithic projects. You need only to look at the top-rated games of 2024 lists, where 2023 awards lists were littered with AAA titles from 500-strong studios. Okay, 2024 shows hunger for smaller, more independent spirit, arcade machine throwback, UFO 50, Metrovania-esque Animal Well, poker roguelike Balantro, and the text-based pixel art adventure, The Crimson Diamond, are just some of the games you'll see appearing again and again in these lists. Despite the numerous differences, and they share commonly a smaller, more refined experience that recalls earlier eras of the gaming, our marriages and mechanics of storytelling were key through technology and craftness rather than literal country-sized game worlds. The nostalgia they create for older video game generations are central to the heart of the creation, and they just want you to pick them up and have a good time now and again. The slow but increasingly clear pivot to video game audience and potential indie game renaissance is clear message to the publishers that everything is bigger and bolder, and who is possible has the same time to play more than one of those or two of those games a year. That's another problem, right? We're talking about live service games. We're talking about PvP games. We're talking about single-player games. We're talking about all of these games that are all bidding for your time, but they're also like 20, 30, 50, 80, 100-hour games, and there's so many of them. They can't keep the attention long enough. And there's so many games out there that the player base is spread across them all, and there's not one or two games that have like tens of millions of people playing. They have tens of thousands of people playing, and they just can't keep their doors open. So it says that's not the undercut of difficulties getting the independent titles made. UFO 50's Mossmoth LLC team consisted of 6 developers working over many years, while both Animal Well and Crimson Diamond share similar stories being crafted by solo developers. Billy Basso and Julia Midmata, respectively, over several years. Even a smash hit like Lethal Company started life as one-of-the-man band developer Zeekers learned to develop games on Roblox before expanding his own knowledge. All these developers put everything in, and they had over several years of their lives to create these games, not in pursuit of money, but because of passion. And this is why they don't need homogeneous worlds of 300-plus side quests to tick off. These games all feel like they are enjoyment in machines. And that's the way it's going, right? So a lot of these companies, independent developers, 1, 2, 6, 9 people. The game that I'm playing right now, right? Brighter Shores. 9 people. 9 people have created this game over 7 years. 9 people over 7 years, okay? It's a small MMO. It's not an MMO like World of Warcraft. It's nothing like that. It's a RuneScape type of game, and they're getting pretty good. People. A lot of people playing. Is it a massive hit like a Pal World or Helldivers 2? No, but they also don't have the overhead of those types of games with the studio size. Right? There's just 9 of them. Okay, so it feels like a lot of top-end video game industries are currently faced with 2 paths to choose from. The first is a status quo. You continue to gurge of bigger budgets and impossible, open yet incredibly empty worlds filled with 80-plus hours to content that has about 10 hours of meaning to its players, and hopelessly pursue the live service train, which has left the station over 5 years ago. Also with late passengers wondering why the money isn't rolling in anymore. These billion-dollar gambles could pay off, but it becomes less and less likely. Or they could opt in for a second path to take a page out of Julia Minimath and Billy Basso's book of wider breadth of projects, smaller in scope and scale with refined focus of gameplay mechanics, and perhaps a return to the old style of video games long dormant. Projects where developers aren't afraid to take a wilder choice of unexpected left turns, less than a crash their $400 million ship into a mixed to descent reputation. Maybe a studio can remember to be used to be played to video games because they were fun, not because they were bigger than the last year's maps and carpeted by a denser, higher resolution grass that you can also walk to finish another piece of side content and pushes you to a dignity closer to 100% completion. So, again, this is the problem. You know what the problem is? Nintendo is not the problem. Nintendo has kept their graphics pretty minimal, right? as Xbox and PlayStation have pushed the envelope of how great graphics can get, Nintendo's over here just making games. Just making games. Okay? And now Xbox has shifted because of their Game Pass model. They can't make $300 million games and put on that platform and charge $20 a month. They got to make smaller games. They got to make smaller games that are $150, $200 million, which is still an absorbent amount of money. But they can't make those budget games like Sony's doing, where they're making God of War, Spider-Man, and charging $250, $315, $400 million games. And then, they have to guarantee themselves 7 to 8 million copies sold right off the bat, 90% in the first month. Okay. So there's a lot of smaller companies, right? There's a lot of smaller games that Xbox just pays outright to put on Game Pass. It puts them on their day and date. So when they come out, helps the small developer. They're making majority of their money back while they put it on multi-plat. Okay. But Xbox helps them by putting it on Game Pass because they're giving them the big chunk of money up front. Each case, is different. But the big blockbuster game is just going to get worse, right? If you want that 60 frames per second with the graphics and stuff that you want to get, it's just going to keep pushing up the cost. Where if you look at other games I'm playing TCG Card Shop Simulator right now. I'm playing Brighter Shores right now. Both games, not visually stunning, okay? They're not visually stunning, right? People like Hades. People like, what's the other small game that we played? There was one other, like Brotato's a big one, right? Minecraft, even though pretty excessive, when you're playing on different PCs and whatnot, the graphics are not mind-blowing. Roadblocks, right? So there's a lot of games out there that are not pushing the envelope where they're spending, $200, $400 million to try to recoup, okay? They have to make smaller game studios. They got to make brands out there that don't take 7 years to make, okay? And if it does take a game like a 9-studio person to make a 7-year game, but their cost is only like $10 million, and it makes $100 million, that's a 10-time investment on that small studio. Where if you spend $300 million on a thing, you're not going to get 10 times your return on that investment. These are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think that the bubble has bursted for blockbuster games? Do you think we're going to see all these remakes, remasters? Okay, are we going to start seeing these more indie games, more two-tier, AA games coming up to the forefront? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me scroll back up, chat. Let's see what you guys are saying up here. Sarge says they're making billions off of mobile games. If they stand alone company of no mobile, I believe you. If the dev team is part of any mobile dev team, they're full of shit. Robert says I wonder how much forecasting predicting is science versus art. Dolphin says when you're up to Black Ops 6, there's 14 studios on the screen that worked on it. 14 studios. Jesus Christ. Jason says, same with AC Shadows. Way too many cooks in the kitchen on some projects. Kylo says, seems to be a trend due to both games and movie budgets being insane. The new Red One Christmas movie just came out, and it's already bombing. $250 million budget, $34 million open weekend. Oh, did that come in theaters? $34 million opening weekend. That is not good. They need to be up in the $70 million range. That is not good. Sarge says consequences. What's that? We just print money here. I don't know what you're what you're talking about. They're reading a magic ball. Jones says, they're like, will Concord make it? Doubt it. Highly doubt it. Just ask again later. Yeah, go ahead. Send it out. It's good. I actually played a game. Clip says I actually played a game. It wasn't bad. It wouldn't made some money, probably more than Concord, because they had a Sega IP in it. But it's probably did get more money back from just writing it off. Oh, for sure. That is a thing, Eclipse. That is a thing. Jesse Max says players who were not selected in the most diverse games were being woke. Puts a live service game 10 out of 10 games that players are not even playing in the first place. Just hire woke activists. Jason says, stop with this insane budget and hyper-realism. And you need. Right. You don't have to make these games look so... Here's the thing. Somewhere along the line, and I understand people want to get the latest, greatest piece of technology or the highest graphics card, and they want to see their eyeballs blow out of their heads because it looks so beautiful. I remember playing on the Apple IIc, a stick figure running across the screen for Summer Olympics, right? At that point, it wasn't about the graphics. It was about me making that stick figure run across the field and throw a javelin. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it was just to play the game. Pong was a boop, 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 breakout. Tetris, right? Like, these are games. So is God of War. So is Assassin's Creed. So is Cyberpunk. Sure. Is it awesome to play those games like Space Marines and stuff like that? Sure, right? But you don't need games to look like that to be the only games you talk about. Altern says, I'm wondering if Hiroki Totoki had something to do with Concord releasing and closing. The dude only knows numbers and nothing about games. I mean, that's what they put him in. They put him in charge for that. Ron Slusher says Realm Royale was low-key better than Fortnite. We played it. It was okay. It was okay. That was put together. Realm Royale was put together in like 3 weeks. Well, let's see here. Scrolling. Roic says, looks like Vampire Survivors, it was just a great game. It didn't have amazing graphics and complex map. Yeah, it was just fun, right, Roic? Just a fun game to play, like a Brotato. The game I played, a Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, fantastic game. Graphics are good. Still a good game. That didn't cost $100 million to make. You know what I mean? Yeah, Dead Cells, right? Another good game. I didn't play it, but I've seen people play it, right? Alton says they don't need to add small hairs on people's faces. They don't need to add detailed textures on the cloth when the camera is so far away 99% of the time. Right. They don't need to add the testicles of the horses. Do you know what I mean? They could have kept it out. Now, obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2 has made a shit ton of money, so they're okay doing it. But it's like, you don't need to do that stuff. Sarge says, let's remember, kids, we don't set the bar, they do. Right. And this is what I've been saying for the longest time. Like, if I make a game, I don't need to make the next game that I come out with like this much better, right? It could be just like this, just a smidgen more, like something better. It doesn't have to be exponentially like this game. Our first game only had 5 hours of gameplay. Our next game's got 105 hours of graphics and intensity, and you're like, but it's broke, buggy, and I can't play. And they're like, yeah, but did you see the graphics? The graphics look so good. Like, go from 5 to 15. Blow your eardrums out. You're like, what's happening? You don't need to do that. And then the problem is, then you have what you have with like Madden. Madden put everything in the game, right? Because they had no competition. So they put everything in the game. And they're like, oh shit, we did too much. We did too much. We got to backtrack now. We got to take stuff out of the game and then sell it to them again because we put way too much and we have no competition. They did it in their own sports game 1 month away from each other. College came back in after like 15 years missing, and then Madden came out afterwards. There's more features in college than there is in Madden. Fucking joke. Fucking joke. Roic says they just updated Warhammer 40K Inquisition with a new class and some other things. Played it all day yesterday. You can now play any season you want. If it's a joke, why am I crying? Sarge says Game of the Year is mean to be for a dev team that pushed the limits of creativity, mechanics, fun factor, playability, not based off of fringe minority political ideology. Yeah. But Taco, right? They have to make them different because if they made the same, it would just be like, oh, it's just college and pros, right? But they have no competition. Their only competition is college and pros, and they're their own competition now, right? Maximum Football is coming out and stuff, right? But it's just funny when you have no competition, it gets stale. They put too much in the game, and now they take stuff out of the game. Same with Battlefield. I just read an article this weekend. Battlefield 6, right, is putting stuff back in the game that they took out. Why did you take it out? I don't know. I didn't read the article. I read just the title. I was like, why did you remove the thing that you took out last time? Jesse Max says, I'm playing Days Gone in a bit. Oh, man, it's such an amazing game. It's sad that Sony didn't make 2. One, because Sony goes on to make a bad game named Concord to waste a new IP. I mean, I remember when that came out, Days Gone, it got shit on for some reason. I don't remember why. I remember watching I forget who it was. I was on Mixer at the time when it came out. And there was a person I was watching. What was her name? And I watched it. I was like, why is this game getting so much shit on? Like, people hated it. And I forget the reason. Is that what it is, Jones? They're reintroducing the scoreboard? Is that what it is? I don't know. Altern says $300 million on a budget, and they forgot one thing and one thing only: make a game fun. They forgot to add it in some games, but I know it's not missing. The microtransaction store. Oh yeah, the microtransaction store is the first thing they make. First thing they make. Everything's gonna be free. Everything's gonna be free. Microtransaction. I can't play the game. Hey, Tuesday edition. They just updated the microtransaction store. Yay! Yeah, I can't play the game. I can't finish the game, but they added a new thing in the store. Yay! Come on, Super D. Super Dave, you change your name like I change my underwear. I like a new name every week. And that's a joke, by the way. Yeah. Sorry, long story. It's okay. You don't even have to give me the short story. What am I checking the DMs for again, Travis? No? Is that for Days Gone? Is that what you just sent me? Don't lie. You only change your underwear every 2 weeks. In Florida? In Florida, you should change your underwear twice a day. Otherwise, you get swamp butt. Just saying. If you're outside working, your ass should better change your underwear. Game director said this in a tweet. So this was for Days Gone. He said 3 reasons. 3 reasons what though? It had tech issues like bugs, streaming, and frame rate. It had reviews who couldn't be bothered to actually play the game. And 3, it had woke reviews who wouldn't handle a gruff white biker looking at his date's ass. So wait a minute. Was it the opposite of what happens now with woke people? There was people that, because it didn't have diversity, and he was staring at his girl's ass. What's going on, Mo? The article says the next Battlefield will bring back leaning. Not worth the read. Thank you, Krebsy. Leaning. Wow, I can do this now. Woo! Amazing. Can't wait to go back to Battlefield 6. They did it. They went, there it is. We did this much better. But what they don't tell you is they took this much stuff out. Yeah, the wiggle. The wiggle. Was that Tarkov? Was that Tarkov with the dude in the wiggle, the people that were cheating? Jesse Max says 30 Days Gone at launch was extremely buggy. That's why people who don't like it, only one easy fix. Oh, really? So they gave shit to Days Gone, but not Cyberpunk. Interesting. Interesting. Amazing. What's going on, Artemis? Well, all I can say is make a game, sell a game. And if your game came out broke, buggy, and unfinished, you deserve all what you get. What's going on, Ford? All right. The next topic, we'll probably talk a long time. We'll probably go into the next thing at noon, okay? Is that the Game Awards states that DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories, okay? This doesn't piss me off, but it makes me look at the award show and say, I didn't respect you before, and I definitely don't respect you now. Because before I even start reading this, okay, I have other 2 things I want to bring up before that's in part of this, okay? But if you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams, uploads, podcasts, interviews, so lots of different stuff, gameplay. So I typed in all brand new games And it gave me a list of games that came out, right? But obviously, this is what came out this year, okay? Like, all of these games came out this year, okay? Starting in January. January, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games in January. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 30, 33. We have 33 games that came out in February this year. March, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Okay, 28 games, right? Just in January, February, and March, we have 100 games. Okay. Here they have the, some of the big games that came out this year. We got Dragon Dogma 2. We got Forbidden Horizon West. We got Skull and Bones. I don't think that should be on the list. We got Banisher. We got Prince of Persia, Helldivers, Alone in the Dark. We got the casting of Frank Stone. We got Homeworld 3. We got Like a Dragon. We got Warhammer. We got Suicide Squad. We got Persona, right? We got the Plucky Squire. There's plenty games. Plenty of games. Look, there's May. Okay, there's June, July, August, September. Look at all those games, right? October. And I'm sure there's 100 games missing from this list. Okay? You got all these games that are here. And yet, for some strange reason, we get that the Game Awards states that DLCs, remakes, and remasters are all eligible in all categories. Okay? Which, just off the top of my head, is ridiculous. Because what Game Awards should be, okay, is that games should be judged on the brand new games that come out in 2024. Not a remake, not a remaster, because those games had their time to shine. They came out in the original year what they were out in. People played it, people bought it. Very successful IP. It went on, okay? Because in this state of mind, if you had a game that won, let's say in 2001, it was Game of the Year, and now you remake that game should automatically be in Game of the Year contention again because it was Game of the Year before, so it's Game of the Year again, right? Why wouldn't you pick a Game of the Year that won in 2004 or 2010 or 2018? Okay, why wouldn't you put it back in the top of Game of the Year if, you know what I mean? If it was already Game of the Year. How do you not nominate a game that was already Game of the Year that won it? You see what I'm saying? So, DLCs should just have a separate category. Best DLC. And they're like, well, maybe there was not enough DLCs to come out in the year. Okay. Honorable mention. Best DLC that we played this year, and then give it to them. Okay? Remakes, remasters. Okay? Make a category. I get it. Maybe there's not enough. Just like there's not enough sports games, so they put the racing games inside the sports games. To make DLCs, remakes, and remasters into the Game of the Year category, in my opinion, is idiotic and stupid. Okay? Both the same. Okay? Because you're taking away spots from people that busted their ass for the last 5 to 7 years to make a video game, okay, that launched in 2024, okay, to get nominated in a fake award show. But now you're diminishing it even more by putting DLCs and whatnot. The DLC that came out last year, Cyberpunk 2077's Liberty of Fate, whatever. What was it called? I forget. It got Best Ongoing Game, right? Best Ongoing Game. Yet, now, this year, I'm assuming they're changing it because they have in mind that DLCs are going to be in the category. Maybe not. Maybe an hour from now, they will announce the Game of the Year awards, and there will be no DLCs in Game of the Year. Okay? But it sure does look weird that you've changed the rules before the award show to add a DLC, remake, or remaster are eligible for all categories, right? Remakes and remasters were already in all categories, but now it's all in categories. Now they're in all categories, meaning they could win Game of the Year, which takes away from games that came out this year, right? So let's Phantom Liberty. Thank you very much, Vandal. Okay, so let's read this. The Game Awards states that DLC, remake, and remasters are eligible in all categories. Okay, very short, very sweet. The Game Awards is set to announce all nominations for this year's event on Monday, and there's already been a lot of discussion about which games are going to be included in the various categories. The Game Awards website now says that DLCs, expansion packs, remakes, and remasters are all eligible for nominations in all categories, which is a very interesting turn of events. The Game Awards 2024 takes place on Thursday, the 12th of November, or 12th of December. Not November, for fuck's sake. Can we get these people to proofread and check their articles, please? Okay, the Game Awards aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, okay, of the format of the content release. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, remasters are eligible in all categories, and the jury deems the new creative technical work to be worthy of a nomination factor, such as the newest and content that is also price/value should be taken into consideration. Price and value into consideration. Well, there goes all my stuff. All the stuff that's $130 can kiss my ass because you're not nominated, because your value of $130 where something else comes out is $20. Forget about it. Okay. Right. So they're completely changing not only the DLCs, expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, remasters are all eligible. And they're all in contention for price value should be taken into consideration. Okay. Now, I saw Co Carnage say something. Now, maybe you don't like Co Carnage. I like Co Carnage. He knows a lot about video games. Okay. And he said this. He said, hugely disagree with this move. Add categories, have honorable mentions, and shout outs, sure. But to have it so no new games can eclipse the only category they could win by DLCs, expansions of existing games. The craziest, absolute craziness. I agree with him 1,000%. It's idiotic. And you know what? It's okay. Because before this, I always thought the Game Awards show was not real. A fantasy. It's a popularity contest. It's people at whatever. Okay? It's not about the actual industry, okay? It's a man turning something into to pretend it's the video game industry, okay? It's all about the ads. It's all about the how many things we can get. It's about telling people to get off the stage because they actually don't really care about what you have to say. And thank you to all the people that worked 7 years and missed their child's birth and stuff like that to work on a game. It's all about hurry up, get off the stage. We gotta fill this in with another ad. We gotta show another trailer. Let's do it, okay? They lost all what's the word I'm looking for? My brain just went gone. Credibility. They've lost all credibility with me in the past, and this just solidifies it. The solidification of this is done. The Game Awards is just fun. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna make fun of it. Okay, we're gonna make fun of it. Join me, Sarge, Greg Owen, and I believe Kingard as we watch it and talk about it and have conversations and stuff, because that'll be more entertaining than the actual award show itself, okay? Because we already know that the award show, no matter what happens, it doesn't matter. It's about just talking and having a good time as gamers that want to talk about who got nominated, who didn't get nominated, who's an idiot, who's not an idiot, why is this here, why is it not there, and that would be more fun than actually taking this award show. They want to try to make this as legitimate as possible. We read a story last week. They're trying to put a patent in there so they're considered the Game Awards, which I'm not signing that. I'm not signing that, because if you could put DLCs up against a brand new game that came out, I don't care what it is, right? I don't care if Brotato came out and that was loved by everybody and that was the game that was running up for Game of the Year, but now it can't because a DLC came in. Look, this is nothing against Elden Ring. Elden Ring had its time. It won, okay? They brought a great DLC out. People love the DLC. Make a new category. But to take a DLC, to take a remaster, to take a remake, and put it up against a brand new game is insanity. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, If you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Here. Everybody says, I can see both sides of the argument. One hand, Game Awards is the celebrate the year of gaming, and if its DLC remaster remake gets 20 million people playing it, it should get recognized. Sure. Getting recognized or taking a spot from someone that came out with a brand new game this year, two different things, though, right? I don't think DLCs or remasters should be there. I could debate remakes. I think all of them, if it's not brand new, then it shouldn't be there, personally. Again, we have hundreds and hundreds of games that came out this year. You can't pick 6. You can't pick 6 brand new games for each of the categories. I disagree, Jason. I disagree. If it's a brand new game, then label it something different. Label it something different. Make it Silent Hill 3. Make it Silent Hill 2.5. Name it something different. If it's the same name as the game before, okay, and it's a remaster, it shouldn't be in there. So you're telling me right now, if Skyrim came out with a remaster, and they did it again next year, and they did it again next year, and they did it again next year, they can just keep submitting it. It can still be up there for running. And again, if a game already won Game of the Year, it should automatically be in for next Game of the Year, shouldn't it? How do you not put a Game of the Year winner in the past into a category? Do you see what I'm saying? All you had to do is make a different category. As Co said, all you have to do is make a different category, right? You know, an announcement. You know what I mean? It's super easy. Make a different category. Shout out, mentions. There's tons of things you can do. You're literally taking away from someone else. And we don't even know who the nominees are yet, right? Maybe the DLC doesn't even get in. Imagine that. Imagine Elden Ring doesn't even get nominated for stuff. You'd be like, wait a minute. Why did they do this? Why would they change it? Dolphin says, Game Awards already happened. Didn't you know? Elden Ring already won. Vandal says, let me translate Jeff for you. Jeff, I'm going to get on stage and... yeah. The Game Awards should be new Call the Game trailer show with the recognition of games and they come out. Hey, look, when you telling people that won Game of the Year last year to get off the stage, hurry up, wrap it up, you've lost all credibility. Kylo says, I honestly think Jeff Keighley handily ruined gaming events as a whole. Eclipse says, I watch Co every day, and he's the only streamer I watch on Twitch now. I love Co. Yeah, I think Co's a really good guy. I love the way he plays games. I love how he's, pretty objective when it comes to talking about video games and whatnot. I watch him, and I love watching It's Me JP's and him and Zeke on Drop Frames. I've been watching them for 10 years. They literally started that show, I think, a couple weeks after I started GXG. Same time, I think. Something like that. Everybody says, I think DLC and remasters shouldn't be Game of the Year remakes. I'm on the fence. It's like Final Fantasy VII when it should be nominated. Jesse Max says all the DLCs and remasters and remakes are all eligible in all cats. This is a funny thing I've ever heard. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I get it. Some people might think it's fine. I just think that when you look at this, right, and you see hundreds of games, hundreds, right? This is all of just this year, right? Game of the year doesn't have to be a budget of $300 million to be in the running. You know what I mean? It could be a small independent game. That would have been the easiest thing to do, Roic. Just make a separate category. And maybe there's not enough remakes or remasters or DLCs that come out each year. Fuck it, put it in the same best season pass. What did I say yesterday? I went off yesterday in our Discord. What did I say? I said a couple things yesterday. I said best this, best that, do this, do that. It's like, why? Why are we doing this? Like best microtransactions, best season pass, best battle pass, best $90 mount. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Guard says money is changing hands, bro. They have to push the games that didn't sell well, and Xmas is coming. You know why? Oh, I think Dragon Age Delgard will be nominated in so many different categories because sales are so poor. Ford says no remake, no remaster. DLC should be considered for any category. They should be in their own category, period. I agree with you, Ford. I know there's people that don't agree, but I agree with what you just said 100%. So who's going to be this year's Hogwarts Legacy getting snubbed from the whole event? I mean, a lot of people have their money on Black Myth Wukong. I think it will get nominated. I don't know if it get nominated for Game of the Year, but it'll definitely get nominated for something. Hogwarts didn't get nominated for anything. Why gamers only count for 10% of the vote is also retarded. Yeah, well. It's about the money, bro. It's all about the games, point proven, hundreds of games to be judged. Let's keep the same 20. Kraken says DLC remaster remake should all have their own categories. Yeah, and sometime I don't know if they can have all, because there might not be enough remasters or remakes or DLCs in that year. So they have to make something, but there's not enough sports games or racing car games to have their own category, right? So they can move them into another category. It's just dumb to take those. I don't know. Because think about it. Last year, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty could have won Game of the Year. They put it in Best Ongoing Game, which is another fucking joke last year. Okay, I was like, I'm sorry. Best Ongoing Game? And did they not have... I'm pretty sure. Did they have No Man's Sky in the best ongoing game? I don't remember if it was in the category last year. I remember a game that was a ongoing game, and yet they didn't nominate it. I was like, what? How is this? Like, if you want to take a DLC and put it into best ongoing game, then cool. Give me 1 second. Sorry, No Man's Sky was in the ongoing game. There was another game that didn't get nominated. There was a game that was left off the ongoing game, and Cyberpunk took its place. I gotta look it up. What was the category? Best ongoing? I can't find a thing that talks about it. It just shows the winner. Best ongoing. Okay, here we go. Best ongoing. Was Elden Ring, Diablo 4, Stardew Valley, Destiny 2, World of Warcraft. No, that's not it. What the fuck? What is that? That's not it. You guys know the 4 or 5 games that were there? Because I can't seem to find it on my thing. we just need game awards for new woke categories. Everybody says 80% trailers, 10% Kojima, 10% awards, game awards. He's got to do rapid fire awards and rush people off stage. Yeah. Bo says, Mike, PlayStation alone can fill the remake category by itself. Was it Sea of Thieves? Was it Sea of Thieves left off the list? Only live service game should be on that category? Yeah, not a game that you had to fix for 3 years and then put a DLC out. How was that best ongoing game? I mean, Jones, I said why I'm watching it, right? I'm bringing friends on and to make fun of it. I said it. I know exactly why I'm watching it. To make content. No hiding here. Call me grifter. I don't give a shit. I'm watching it so I can make fun of it. Because it's definitely not credible. The BAFTAs are credible. Right? We're not actually watching the award show to watch the award show. We're watching it to see what the new trailers come out. And then go, oh, that looks good. That looks bad. Oh, what was that? That's on Thursday night, I'll turn. It's on GXG. The night that we do GXG on December 12th. Unlike the article, December 12th, not November 12th. It's a GXG night. So the podcast will probably start at 7 instead of 8. And then we'll watch it till, I think it goes to like 11. So, and Greg Owen's going to join us, me and Sarge. And then Kingard, I believe, is going to join us as well. So there'll be 4 of us watching it. I do recommend, if you guys are going to watch it with us, that if you want to watch the actual show, because we're going to be using that program and it might stutter or whatever. So you might want to watch it on your own if you can on a separate screen, and then just bring us up as we're chatting about it. Kylo says some people think this is the end all be all of gaming. Oh, I know, and that's what they're trying to. That's why they're trying to have people sign a thing for petition to get them credible for, like, they're the one all be all of video games. I will never take them as the one all be all of video games. Oh, congratulations to Keeley. I mean, he's making a killing of money. I mean, it costs money to put on a show. But I'd like to know how much he's charging for each ad. Is it public? Is it public of what he spends on that? Altered says, should add a note saying not for sensible people and start to make a joke since moment number 1. See if they fix the speech timers. Last year was a joke. Yeah, just hurry up. You won game of the year. Yeah, we don't care. I got other commercials to run here, guys. Get off the stage. Let's go. That's been there all the time. That's been all the time. But he had to get so many in there that he had to. Let's wrap this up. Let's go. Yes, congratulations. Let's do a speed round. All right, the next winners are this. Thanks for showing up today. And let's show you some trailers now. It's like, is this a video game? The Game Awards? Is this a award show? Once we have all the nominations in our Discord, there will be a category that people can vote on which things. I'll post that up there. We'll put all the categories and we'll vote which categories are what, and then we'll lock it out. The deep. The hell. Oh, I was like, where did that music come from? The Game Awards. They're going live. What are the what time is it? Oh, we got 30 minutes. All right. I was like, where does that? Yeah, we 28 minutes. Like, where is that death music coming from? The Super Bowl ads are 7 million for 30 seconds. Game Awards probably 2 million for 30 seconds. You think it's that much? Might be more. Maybe it's more, Krebsy. No, they announced at 12. House. Kylo says his bias towards PlayStation is honestly baffling. Just shows how much money they put into the pocket to push their titles at his shows. Well, of course. I mean, look, I understand it's supposed to be it's an award show. You're supposed to be entertained by it. But at the same time, I can't take you seriously when you're making stupid decisions like this. I think it is, House. I think it is. And the reason I say it is because I believe because the sales are down for Dragon Age, they have to put more money. Like EA ran an article or ran an ad with Xbox, like you're in the best age, it's a Dragon Age advertisement type of thing. They're going to run so many advertisements for it because they try to build up more, get more sales for the holiday season. 100%. Why do you think this award show takes place before the holiday season and not after, like most reward shows? Like the Oscars and all of those take place in like February and March, right? The BAFTAs take place after the end of year, right? They take place early next year, right? Because they're not trying to. It's not about the games to sell more games. It's about the rewards. It's about people voting on their constituents, okay, in the industry. It's people in the industry voting for the industry about the technical aspects, about the game and what it is. It has nothing to do with popularity contest. That's what the BAFTAs does. This one is before because it's that prime real estate to let's get as many advertisers as possible to advertise the game so they can sell over the holidays. And if you put him a certain game and you nominate it for Game of the Year, okay, let's say it's not doing so well and you put it in Game of the Year or you put it in any category, forget Game of the Year, and you put it in a category, then that distincts to people, oh, well, it got nominated for this, so it must be good. I'm going to go buy it. A lot of people think that, House. I think it will be nominated. I don't know if it gets nominated for Game of the Year, but I think it'll get nominated. Hogwarts didn't get nominated for anything. Right, just the nomination is a boost sales. I always look at it this way. Regardless if you win, like when I used to love award shows, like the Oscars and the billboards and all the stuff. When I used to watch those award shows, if your movie or album or video game got nominated, I was like, that's good, right? Like, if you could get nominated in the top 5 games of 100 games or 1,000 games that came out that year, it doesn't matter if you win or not, right? That's subjective. But if you could get in that top 5 or top 6 games, those are good games. Now, years later, with this award show, not so much. Not so much. Because if by their standards, right? By their standards, they say DLCs, remakes, remasters are all eligible for categories, and the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination. Factors such as the newest, right? That's the thing they said, newest of the content and its price/value should be taken into consideration. Price and value, right? But also the newest thing. So let's just put it back in. Cyberpunk came out broken, buggy, right? And unfinished years ago. And yet it was still nominated, right? So if the value of you buying a game and then it's broken, buggy, Star Wars Outlaws, $130, $80, $110, right? You can't judge it on the season pass. You can't judge it on the stuff that you haven't played yet. You have to judge it just on the game itself. And the game was broke, buggy, and unfinished. And then they fixed it. They're still fixing it. It's still not fixed yet before the Game Awards, right? So what are they judging it on? Based on the value of what it is, based on what it was. Eclipse says, what game was it? Far Cry 6, I think. The game didn't even get nominated. And they put the game on year edition, the full edition. It didn't get nominated, and it was still there. It was still on the box. It said Game of the Year edition. Sarge says value is subjective, can be quantified to be used as a factor of deciding a winner. It cannot. It cannot. I will say, best thing about Game of the Year is the edition that includes all the things for cheaper. Right. That's why I picked up. Witcher 3 back in the day when it won. I picked up the Game of the Year edition for $20, $24 or whatever it was, and it had all the DLCs and whatnot. Still never played it. Played it 8 hours. Still never finished the game. Carlos says Dragon Age is going to be this year's Baldur's Gate 3, going to sweep every category. It says low-key Destiny Final Shape could be nominated for best ongoing. Would it win? Is debatable. I don't know. Maybe it does, Krebsy, because it's the last one. Even though they're still adding stuff, it's the last. Remember what they did to Lord of the Rings in the movie industry? Lord of the Rings didn't win the next year. But it finally won the last year because it was the last movie of that series, and they finally won, right? It won all the other things, but it didn't win Best Movie. And then it won the last one because I think that's the same way it could work for Destiny in that way for ongoing. It didn't win before, so it could win now. Al Dente says, I got Witcher 3 for free from being a manager at the GameStop, and I didn't play it until last year. And man, oh man, you're missing out on some great story. Oh, I know. I'm not missing out because I watched Co Carnage play it. 108 hours I watched him play that game. Yeah, back then when my son was born, I couldn't play a lot of games like that because I didn't have the time. Because every time I would sit down and play, he would cry or whatever, and I would have to take care of him. So I couldn't play it. So I watched Co Carnage play. So I know the story. That's why I bought the game. I was like, oh, I want to add that to the collection. I just never ever got to play it myself. I played 8 hours 3 times because every time I go back, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I start again, and then I play again, and I can never get past a certain point. Oh, I think it'll get nominated for sure. Final Shape will definitely get nominated. I don't know if it wins. Did it win for ongoing game, Taco? Did it win for ongoing game? Or did it win for something else? (2020) was No Man's Sky. 2021 was Final Fantasy 14. 2022 was Final Fantasy 14. 2023 was Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think they went past that. I don't think they've ever won for best ongoing game. Best community 2 years ago? Okay. Did you guys get your trophies? I don't remember getting a trophy. Wait, I have a question. Maybe Baldur's Gate can win this year. It came out for Xbox this year. Does that count? Does release dates count? Baldur's Gate 3 came in after the fact of the Game Awards. It actually got announced at the Game Awards. Didn't they just shadow drop it at the Game Awards? That means it's eligible this year. So Baldur's Gate 3, by their standards, should be able to be nominated this year again. Taco says, so I agree, Mike. They could snag it this year because they haven't gotten it yet. Imagine just being a game and then every year you just drop a DLC, whatever it is, right? Drop DLC. So technically, guys, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is in this year's awards. They probably won't get nominated for anything, but I'm just using it as an example. They have their final DLC that comes out after the Game Awards, which means next year, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League could be back in the same category that it was this year because they released the last DLC in next year's cycle. So Final Fantasy 14 Reborn should be nominated for not only ongoing game of the year, but because of their last update that they did, that should be also nominated for game of the year. Right? World of Warcraft every year could be game up for game of the year. Oh, but I think they had their own category. Amazing. Off topic, but does AMC and other theaters show their TV episodes in the movies? They could use that to boost people coming back. I believe some of them do. I'm not sure if they do it in my theaters, but they have different events that they do with like concerts or comedians or what are they called? Something events. Phantom Events or something like that it's called, and they have different things that they air. You can rent the theater out. You could watch stuff there. I said that years ago, Jones. I said that if I was a theater owner, I would show like Netflix films inside the theater. Like it's free to come and watch. You have to buy something at the. So I would show a Netflix series at my theater, but it's free to come in. But you just have to buy something at the concession stand. Right? Because I can't charge for Netflix because I'm paying for Netflix. You know what I'm saying? But I can show Netflix on the theater so you can come in and watch it. But I would just charge you. You have to buy something at the. Isn't that illegal? No, it's not illegal. You can come in and watch it for free. You just have to buy something at my snack bar. I'm not charging you. I'm paying a license for it. Whatever. Yeah, 14 minutes. It'll go live. Yeah, 2 Coke minimum, something. Give me a large popcorn, extra butter. Yeah, there's a place they charge you, but it's they're older movies. They're older movies like Ale House, not Ale House, Draft House, Alamo Draft House shows like older movies in theaters, and then you have to get food. The series just came out, right, Super Dave? All right, let me close down all these other tabs that I have open. What's going to be more believable? Elden Ring winning Game of the Year or Mike Tyson fight? Man, that Tyson fight was so sad. Oh, I want to let you guys know, if you guys didn't see the podcast over on Todd Gator's panel the other day when I was on, I know some of you were saying that there was a lot of ads or whatnot. I told him, I said, do you go back? Because he just started video podcasting on his channel. He used to do audio. And so he didn't know, but YouTube adds automatic ads across the board, right? And let me show you. I showed him a clip. I showed him what it looks like when if you don't go back and change your thing yourself. This is what happens. Okay. So this is one of my videos. Okay. If I don't go back and put the ads in myself, okay, this is what happens. Okay. You see all those dots, all those lines? Each one of those is an ad break. That's a 3-hour stream because when I was playing that game. Okay. Each one of those, and this is tamed. This is a tamed one. Okay. Usually it's worse than this. Okay. So one of these shows that I do in the mornings, if I don't go back and automatically add my ads in by myself, they'll put ads all over the place. It's insanity. So he wanted me to let you know. He didn't know that. So I let him know that that's what happens on YouTube if you do video stuff. So he went back and fixed it. So if those of you that were watching it and were hitting with so many ads, it's fixed now. So if you want to go back and watch the podcast, you're more than welcome to go check that over. The link is in our Discord. And here, if you guys don't have it, I'll send you another link for it. This is Todd the Gator's channel. So I'll give you a link to it. So you guys can save that later if you want to go watch the podcast that was on Friday night. Right. Exactly, al dente. Well, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't get to see ads. But what I do in my videos is that I add one 6 minutes in, then I do 12 minutes, right? Most people don't watch past the first like 15 minutes. Okay, so I do 6, 12, and I do every half hour after that. So for a 3-hour stream, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 ad breaks in a 3-hour stream. Because the average person doesn't watch past like 27, 30 minutes on average. Oh yeah, no, it's crazy, Dolphin. It's crazy when they do it. It's insane. I'll do you guys a favor. In our Discord, after this airs today, about an hour from after it uploads and stuff, they start adding the ads. Okay. So what I have to do is I go back. I'm late on the other ones that I did last week. I go back and put the time code in so you can skip around. I haven't been doing that, but I'll take a screenshot of how many ads they added. Right? How many ads they added, and I'll show you. It's insane. It's insanity. That's why I appreciate people that are members and stuff like that. If you're a member, you shouldn't see any ads if you're a member at all. And if you're using ad blocker and what, you shouldn't see ads. And if you're premium, you don't see ads. But well, I saw a clip, Sarge. Sarge says I expected Mike Tyson to throw it all in the first 2 rounds. There was a shot that he hit him. He hit Jake, and I was like, oh. And it looked like after that, Tyson was like, all right, I gotta stop. He could have ended him in the first round or 2, but he didn't. Well, that's how the world goes around, Jones, right? Like most people are giving free content over on YouTube and they get paid by ads, right? So that's why I appreciate the people that are members. We have a lot of members. We have a lot of members for a small channel that we are, and I appreciate it. Oh yeah, Mo. He hit him hard, and I was like, oh! And then after that, he did nothing. Look, 58 years old in that ring. 58 years old in that ring, man. Target says, I ruined my reputation for $20 million. Yeah. He needed the money. He got 20, and Jake got 40, I think. He got 40 mil. Oh, sure, Jesse. I mean, think about it. Netflix next year, okay, they have the NFL coming and they have the wrestling coming. All live. They're all going to be live. This is 100% a test run on the live event that's happening, right? They did it with Joe Rogan with the comedy thing for live. They did it with this to check out this. This is the most influx they've ever got on Netflix, right? Huge, right? Everyone was watching a thing spin around because that's how many people crashed the site, okay? But this is 100% a test. Yeah, he said he had a biting fixation. That's why he was biting his... I thought what he was doing, I thought the glove was loose on him, right? Is what I thought. And every time he punched, I felt like the glove was like pushing up on him. So he was like biting it to pull it away. You know what I mean? That's what I thought he was doing. And the announcer, one of the announcers was saying, no, that he's been doing that for years and years. And then they asked him after after the fight, and he's like, yeah, I just have a biting fixation. I felt so bad for Mike. I mean, he put himself in the ring. Dolphin says 60 million people tuned in and only 3 million people were able to fucking watch. Did we have the numbers? How many people watched the fight? Do we have that? Yeah, 60 million households. $60 million households watched the fighter who was established his fame, 58-year-old. The figure is more than 20% of its 283 million subscribers worldwide. We all knew he had a bad fixation. Remember the year? Oh, yeah. He came into TGI Fridays in Boca Raton when I worked there. Him and Don King sat down, and it was after the incident. It was after he bit the ear. I remember the wait staff asking for making jokes about it. I didn't get to see the fight before. $60 million households, but a lot more people watched it. All right, we're about 2 minutes out. According to Jake, more people watched an illegal stream of it than watched it on the NBA playoffs. Interesting. Yeah, that first match was... I was like, what's happening? Sarge says they're looking for 10% retention after the first month. Remember, people forget to cancel. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? I paid for Netflix, and I felt like I was watching an illegal stream because it was such a shitty quality. Like, how is it? Which one was better? Was the illegal stream better? Did it have better quality? Like holy Christ, it was bad. It kept pausing, and then it would do error netcode, and then you had to reset, and then it wouldn't go live. It would be like far behind, and then you thought you were watching it. It was terrible. What a shitty experience. All right. If I swear to God, is there going to be a countdown? Is there going to be a countdown to after the countdown? We know there is, right? 35 seconds, and then there's going to be a fucking 10-second countdown. That's so stupid, right? People that watched it illegally watched it better than the people that actually paid for it. Like, so dumb. All right, I'll make it louder now.
And the Game Award.
The Game Award
goes to. And the winner is.
And the winner is.
10 years ago, we began a journey together to celebrate video games as the biggest, most powerful form of entertainment in the world. And on Thursday, December 12th, right here at Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, we will recognize the best and show you what's next with the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards. Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Keighley, and welcome to the TGA Global Nomination Announcement Special. Today, it is my distinct honor to reveal this year's nominees, recognizing talented game developers from studios big and small around the world. And you can help select the winners by voting right now at thegameawards.com. All right, you've waited long enough, so let's do it. Here are the nominees for the Game Awards 2024. For Best Ongoing Game, the nominees are Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2.
Okay.
Your Best Performance nominees are Brianna White for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hannah Tell for Life is Strange Double Exposure, Umberly Gonzalez for Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts Silent Hill 2, and Melina Juergens Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. For the Best Mobile Game, the nominees are AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. The nominees for Best Art Direction are Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong,
there you go.
Elden
There's
Ring
one.
Shadow of the Erd Tree, Metaphor ReFantazio, and Neva.
So you go.
For Best
We don't
Score
have
Music,
a
this
Hogwarts
year's
Legacy this year
nominees
because Black Myth was
Astrobot,
already nominated
Final
already.
Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade. In the category of Best Audio Design, these games are nominated: Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Best Adaptation recognizes excellence in authentically creating shows, movies, and other creative endeavors based on video game worlds. Here are this year's nominees for Best Adaptation: Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon Yakuza,
And Last of Us.
Tomb Raider, The Legend
Wait a
of
minute,
Lara
Last
Croft.
of Us didn't get nominated?
For Best Narrative in a Game,
What?
the TGA nominees
The
are
Last of Us HBO show
Final
didn't get
Fantasy
nominated?
VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Games for Impact celebrates thought-provoking games with a profound pro-social meaning or message.
That came out in
Here are
2023?
This year's nominees:
I guess so.
Closer the Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzera, Zao. The nominees for Best Community Support are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. In the category of Best Multiplayer, the nominees are Call of Duty Black
Baldur's
Ops
Gate
6,
3 was there?
Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Best Independent Game celebrates games with a high degree of risk tolerance, as they are produced outside of the traditional publisher system. The nominees are Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Next is Best Debut Indie Game, which recognizes a development team that hasn't won a Game Award before. In fact, these teams published their first game in 2024. The nominees are Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire. For Best VR AR Game, the nominees are Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, and Metro Awakening. For Content Creator of the Year, the nominees are
I hate these.
Queso, Illawan, Techno Gamers,
I don't know any of these people.
Typical Gamer, and Usada Pecora.
I don't know them.
Part of the Game Awards is
Which is
looking
crazy, 'cause
forward
they probably
to
have
what's
millions of
next.
followers.
And yes, we'll have lots of games to announce on December 12th. But what's the most anticipated upcoming game? Here are the nominees based on currently announced titles. Death Stranding 2, On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Grand Theft Auto 6,
Can you just hand it to them?
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Monster Hunter Wilds. The Best Action Adventure nominees are Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. For Best Role-Playing, the jury selected Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. In the category of Best Fighting, the nominees are Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Multiversus, and Tekken 8. The nominees for Best Action are Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Innovation in accessibility celebrates games that are making our industry available and enjoyable to more people. Selected by a special committee of accessibility experts, the nominees for Innovation in Accessibility are Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws. Next up, Best Family Game. The nominees are Astrobot,
Star Wars Outlaws has
Princess
3
Peach
nominations.
Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. The Best Sim Strategy nominees are Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord.
Planet Coaster's
This year,
on there?
these titles are nominated for Best
Interesting.
Sports Racing, F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K 25, Top Spin 2K 25, and WWE 2K 24. All right, let's take a look at our 3 esports categories, starting with Best Esports Game. The nominees are Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Valorant. The nominees for Best Esports Athlete are 3-3, Alexi B, Chuvi, Faker,
I know Faker.
Zywoo, and Kong Kong.
I know Faker only because of
And for
the
the Best Esports Team,
$500
our special
skin,
esports
whatever.
committee nominated these teams: Billy Gaming, League of Legends; Gen G, League of Legends; Navi, Counter-Strike; T1, League of Legends; and Team Liquid, Dota 2. All right, it's time for our final 2 categories. For Best Game Direction, which recognizes outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, the nominees are Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong,
Go.
Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. And finally, our global TGA jury, of which I am not a member, has selected the following 6 games as nominees for Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2024. The Game of the Year nominees are Astrobot from Team Asobi,
We knew that.
Balatro from Local
That's a
Fun,
big one. I didn't know about that.
Black Myth Wukong
There you go.
by Game Science, Elden Ring: Shadow of
I don't
the
agree with
Erdtree
this,
by
but
From Software,
there it is.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth from Square Enix, and Metaphor ReFantazio from Studio Zero. So there you have it. Those are your nominations.
have a good. Look. We just had a conversation about. We just had a conversation about taking spots, right? I understand. I understand that Elden Tree is like beloved, but it's a DLC, and I don't believe it should be in for Game of the Year. If you want to take the other categories and put DLCs and stuff in it, I don't like it, but I can understand it. But to take a remake, remaster, DLC, and put it in a spot of Game of the Year when other games could have been in there, that to me is a big one, right? So like Astrobot, everyone agreed, right? If you're a hater or not of Sony, Astrobot's a good game. It should be up there, okay? Balatro, I don't think anyone saw this one coming. Maybe a few people, right? All right, so Balatro's up there. Black Myth Wukong, everyone was rooting for. Everyone was like, yeah, Black Myth has got to be in contention. So there it is. Okay. Elden Ring should not be there, in my opinion. Okay. You could have put a game in there, Space Marines 2, right? You could have put something else in the spot here. Same with Final Fantasy Rebirth. Okay. I get it. But it shouldn't be in Game of the Year. There's other categories it could have been in, and Metaphor is fine, right? So 4 of the 6, I think, are deservingly like there. Now I understand that, Rodriguez, but it's still it's like a I don't know how to tell you. Like, it had its time to shine. They redid something, they added stuff, and now it's back into the contention again. DLCs, remakes, and remasters should not be in Game of the Year. If you want to take those games and put them somewhere else, cool. But 4 of the 6 are there. I think most of the categories, if you take the DLCs out of those categories, pretty solid for the picks that they've done. I'm really surprised that Star Wars Outlaws is in 3 categories. They got what? Best Actress or Best Performer. They got Sound Design, right? Is that what they got? And I forget the other one. Yeah, I hear Metaphors is fantastic. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2, right? Not in there, not in anywhere. Oh wait, no, it was in 1. Dragon's Dogma 2 was in 1. I think it got nominated for 1. We'll wait for the list to come out. Full list revealed. Let's see. They haven't updated it yet. I haven't updated it yet. Stellar Blade should have been there instead of Elden Ring DLC. Jason says, all in all, I think they got the noms right aside from Elden Tree. Yeah, maybe Helldivers got, but this is my point, right? Games that are brand new got overshadowed by a DLC or a remake or a remaster. They have it up on the site. What time is it? 12:15. All right. I want to bring up the nominees real fast. I think their site's crashing. Do all categories. Okay. Yeah, they haven't. Oh, is it gonna work? Is it working? No, the site is literally crashing. We'll have to wait till they update the list. View all categories. Let's see. Sports, racing. I'm surprised the strategy game, Age of Mythology, Frostpunk 2. I guess City Skylines 2 came out late last year, so it already. I'm surprised Planet Coaster 2 didn't get nominated, but that just came out, so maybe they just. Best ongoing game. Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers. Final Fantasy 14's won it twice already. Cyberpunk won it last year. Maybe Destiny wins it this year. Maybe Destiny gets the nod. Although Helldivers is doing something completely different than all these other games have been doing with it. It's like a living, breathing live service game. You know what I mean? For ongoing. Best action game. You got Black Myth, Call of Duty, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer Space Marines 2. This is a tough category. This is probably the toughest category right here. I feel like Warhammer Space Marines 2 should have been up in the Game of the Year nomination type of thing. I know some of you probably think Stellar Blade should be up there as well. Best mobile game. I haven't heard of any of these. Cilantro, but... Oh, a Pokemon trading card, yeah. Best debut indie game. Plucky Squire has like 3 or 4 nominations. Cilantro, I think, is the big winner of all these announcements. I think it was like 5 or 6 is the big winner here. Best community support. I love how Helldiver's up here for best community support when they literally shit on their community. I love how there's there. And best community support, Baldur's Gate 3. I don't agree with this one either, because there wasn't another game that you could put up there. It's not an ongoing game. I understand it's a community there, but you're telling me there's no other community? Got best ongoing. Games for impact. Closer than distance. Life is Strange. I'm not sure which one. Maybe this one wins. Neva. How come I didn't go to the next one? Let's see. We had best performance. Award for individual for voiceover or acting, motion, and performer. I'm surprised they don't break this up into two. I know they do it all, men and women. I'm surprised, though, they don't make it women and then men. They used to do this back in the day in motion picture, and then they separated them. Again, there's plenty of games with actors and stuff that could have been nominated. You could have picked 5 men and 5 women. But, all right. Best audio design. Astrobot, Call of Duty, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 got nominated for a couple, didn't it? Got like 2 or 3. It would be the same 5 people men every year. Okay. Make a man category, make a woman category. What's the problem? Astrobot. Astrobot's going to win a couple. Best art direction. Best narrative. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is in a lot of categories. I think it's been nominated for like 6 awards. Astrobot's got, I think, 7 nominations. 7 or 8. Overall, pretty good. A lot of people thought Black Myth Wukong was going to get destroyed. Like it wasn't going to get any. All right, so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's got a 92 on Metacritic, right? I'm trying to look up the Metaphor has a 94. Black Myth has got an 81. Astrobot's got a 94. Elantro's got a 90. Which one am I missing? Elantro, Elden Ring. Elden Ring's the only one I missed. 94. So every single game's in the 90s except Black Myth Wukong. Let me see what you guys are saying. Dupa says it's because it's amazing. Travis says, I'm re-downloading Metaphor right now. I don't think there's a bad pick, though. The only reason one I would really say not to be there is Elden Ring DLC. But that's just because it's a DLC. Not to say that the game is bad in any way, shape, or form. All right, well, December 12th will be right around the corner. We're a little, about 3.5 weeks away from it. I'm gonna put up a little voting thing inside probably this weekend, so you guys can vote over the next couple weeks to see what like a little scorecard. How many people think gets the win and whatnot, just for fun. We'll put that up in our Discord, and then we'll go over it during the show as we talk about it. It does fall on Generation X Gaming night on Thursday night, December 12th. So it'll be me, Sarge, Greg Owen, and I believe Kinger will be joining us. There'll be 4 of us as we watch it live with you guys and chat it up about the award show, about the game previews, about who wins, who loses, and just bantering and bullshitting while we're watching it. So if you guys like that, come on out on December 12th on the Thursday night podcast night. It'll probably start about 7:30. Or a little bit before 7:30 because they go live 7:30 for the Video Game Award show. I'm done for the day. I got a doctor's appointment, so I'm going to eat lunch before I go. I appreciate it very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night, we have a guest. I can announce who it is now. On Tuesday night's show, we're interviewing Drunk 3PO. He's a content creator on YouTube that just had a book come out. So we're going to talk to him about all his different channels, all the different things that he does on YouTube, get to know him a little bit more. And then on Wednesday night, we have Greg Owen coming back on. So we're going to be interviewing Greg Owen again. Not really interviewing him, but chatting with Greg Owen. So this week, we have no gameplay except for tonight on Monday night. Tuesday night, we have an interview, and it's going to start at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. And then on Wednesday, we have an interview at 8 o'clock. And then Thursday is a podcast. So appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your evening, afternoon, or day. And I'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.